Do you think Greeks have a big habit of thrifting?
Not really.
Not too many.
Only a few people are doing this to create their own fashion, you know? Most of them are just, they don't have anything else to buy from. It's for the money mostly.
Hey guys, welcome back to Magazine, your digital fashion magazine. Today we are flying to Athens, Greece to continue my series on thrift shops and the second-hand world. Do Greeks thrift a lot? What are the average prices? How do vintage shops actually predict trends? I even interviewed a lady who works in a beautiful vintage shop to tell me all about the vintage market and industry. So stay tuned for that, for the haul of what I got there, and for all the underground information.
There is this need for especially young tourists to search these alternative shops in Athens. In the West, they are a popular item. I think that's sort of an item that has like a very specific category of a person who buys them.
So as soon as I got to Athens, I realized how many big secondhand stores there were in the streets. I already had an itinerary, which I will leave in the description box down below for anyone wanting to travel there. And it mixed the more curated and expensive vintage shops with the ones where you truly have to dig in to find good stuff, but you also pay a lot less. And that's what I literally spent 12 hours doing. Just going around the thrift shops, talking to the people, and looking at the clothes.
So I'm near another thrift shop that I'm gonna visit. Basically, I just went to a thrift shop. The lady was super nice. She worked there, but she was not the owner, so she didn't want to be on camera. But she basically told me that the habit of thrifting has been increasing in that store, but it's mainly people that are not from Greece. Like the people that are going there that are from Greece, that are from Athens, they go there because of necessity, because they need to buy cheap clothes, and that's the only way of getting cheap clothes. But
I would like to acknowledge the fact that I am a terrible vlogger, and because I'm shy, I'm constantly looking everywhere even though I'm alone, so I should just be looking at the freaking camera. And I also apparently don't know how to make an angle that flatters me and doesn't put my double chin on the spotlight. So thank you, Past Maya, for being such a good collaborator.
the rest of the population kind of judges thrifting still, and they see it as something dirty and not cool. Although she says it's getting a little bit of popularity, but there's still a stigma around buying secondhand. She also said that prices in that store and everywhere in Greece have increased now with the war in Ukraine, which is crazy to think how quick it affects things. She told me that last winter the most expensive things they had were like $15. There are a lot of secondhand shops, like big outlet secondhand shops in Athens, and the prices that I see are always from like $2.99 usually to like $9.99.
So as you just saw, getting someone to be on camera and talk about this topic was not an easy task, but it was in this exact store behind me that I found the coolest lady ever. We chatted a lot, so here's a sneak peek of what it's like to have a vintage store in Athens.
Basically, the story of the shop goes like this. Stratos, the owner, opened it in 1997. Like in the beginning, I think it was more targeted towards subcultures, like funkers or like rockers and modsters and stuff like that. Then it was like a huge breakthrough with the whole Cool Britannia and Britpop thing. So everyone used to buy like very specific stuff that usually subcultures wear, like the Perfecto jackets for the rockers, or the Adidas track jackets that Britpoppers wear, something like that, you know, or the Adidas shoes, like the vintage ones and stuff like that. Whereas now we bring more contemporary brands. So now people are not as much targeted like weirder, older vintage stuff. They do actually shop for normal clothes. Like they are gonna come here for their annual jacket, or for those jeans that you buy in the beginning of the season.
Where do you get these clothes from? Like, how do you
actually,
pick everything?
We've been for 25 years with the same company from Amsterdam.
Okay.
So, and we also do the wholesale for them. We order them, and then usually about once a year before COVID, we used to travel there in order to handpick some items. We usually order like from a list, and then if they don't have something, we supplement it with something else. You know, tennis skirts are gonna be hot this season. Buy tennis skirts.
So what is your favorite part about being in this store? Is it when you went to pick out the items one by one?
I think it's the stories. I would probably say it's, you know, that you have these standard customers or like clients, like stylists and stuff like that throughout the years, and if you've created this bond. So I also have clients from every part of the world, that they come once or twice a year. Stories that you get with all these people, you know, that they still wear that one dress that they bought in 1998 from you, or that, you know, they wanted to wear that dress to their daughter's prom or something like that. I used to work for fashion magazines and stuff. And this is sort of fashion, but in another sense. If someone is more interested into like the history of it, or again the stories or the romanticism of this, this is more suitable for a person like that. And I think that's how I found my way. There is this need for especially young tourists to search these alternative shops in Athens. They do come here looking for us and other vintage shops, or us and other weird shops, smart souvenirs. I adore usually the 70s dresses, like the one I have now in the window display. Like they're hard to find. Like this, like skirts like that, I go crazy for stuff like that.
What is like the hardest thing to find from? Is it the hats, the vests,
The hats are really easy to find, and unfortunately, you know, hats are very temperamental, because you might fall in love with a hat and it's amazing, but it might be really too big or too small for your head. The gilets and the vests, they are a popular item. I think that's sort of an item that has like a very specific category of a person who buys them.
Oh, like what type of person buys this?
I wouldn't say posh, but I would say more vintage loving. People that are very specific in as far as their style goes, and they know they like vests. It takes a lot for someone to put on a vest. And now I have a lot of young people that want to try out vests. They're very open to putting on a vest, which is an item that they usually weren't, you know, accustomed to. The trench coats, you know, people weren't accustomed to trench coats, and now suddenly this year I've sold like so many trench coats.
And you were saying that, for example, in Amsterdam, then they tell you, oh, this is going to be popular, buy this.
Our vendor, he knows from what everyone else orders. Like we also I do like this sort of research thing, because I read like magazines and I read blogs and stuff like that, or from TikTok. What happens is that I usually put on my list of things stuff that I think might be popular, and then usually it sort of falls in the same place as he is. Probably tell me on his own, like buy shirts with big collars. They're gonna be huge next year. Buy them now, because next year you're not gonna find them. Searching, buying, also thinking ahead in terms of the styling, understanding what the other person wants. They might want a shirt, but it's up to you to read between the lines and help them find perhaps something they didn't know they want. Not just to sell them. For me, if something doesn't fit you, I will tell you. Because it's more important for me to leave the shop with something that works well on you and it suits you.
Right now, what something a lot of people have been asking for, looking for here?
Crazy jackets. These 90s Amerikanikiagora sort of style jackets. Those are really popular. I think leather-wise, a lot of women I see buying fully oversized men leather jackets, which is really interesting. And I think that's also something we've shifted from like standard sizes.
I feel like now I go to a store and I don't even look at the size. I just look if I like it, and then I find a way to make it work.
I think that's the way a lot of young people work in the shop, around the shop as well. Like they see something, they'll try it on, and then they will wonder about the size.
Yeah.
Whereas I think older people, they're very specific about their size.
Yes.
Even if you try to imply that they should, try it on, because it probably might work either way. They're going to be very specific about their size. I know my sizes. Accessories have been flying, like suspenders, ties, bow ties, these fur little hats. The belts are always a game changer, you know. I think a belt is something someone should invest, because it can really transform an outfit.
So if you saw my episode on Fashion Week, link down below if you haven't, you would know how passionate I am about bringing the behind the scenes of any job related to the fashion industry into this channel. Running a vintage store is not an exception, so I hope this can satisfy your curiosity. And if you have any questions you'd like me to ask in episode 3 of this series, please comment them down below. After our conversation, I was walking around the store seeing if I wanted to get anything, and I picked up 2 hats. I tried them on, I was looking at them, and the lady literally ended up looking at me and saying that they were a gift, that I could literally take them for free as a gift. And she even put them on like this cool tote bag. I wanted to mention that because that really warmed my heart. It literally made my day. And if you ever go to Athens, please go to Yesterday's Bread and tell her that I recommended you. My overall experience in the Athens secondhand world was so fun. There is a lot of access to secondhand stores, and I do get that it's mostly because of necessity, but I truly believe that there is something there for everyone at pretty affordable prices. And with that said, here's what I bought there. These low-waist flare jeans that I've already asked my grandma to cut and adjust to me. They were €2 and I had been looking for a pair of those for a long time, so I think it was such a great purchase. This white long sleeve crop top that just screams mermaid vibes. This orange zip up that kind of makes me feel like I'm working at a gas station and that I literally can see myself throwing on top of a fancy dress and making it a super retro look. This denim corset is spice of my tops because I always wear black and white tops and I love denim on denim outfits, so I thought this was a great opportunity. And finally, this fur jacket that I still don't know how I managed to put in my suitcase to come back home, but I felt so elegant and fancy with it that I just didn't want to leave it in the store, and that costed $10. So yeah, that's pretty much a wrap up for today's video. I really hope you liked it. If anyone from Greece or Athens is watching this, please comment down below, and comment down below also what place you would like me to travel next. Anyways, if you want to join the Maya community, please make sure to subscribe, give this video a like, and follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!